Hollerin with Hollenbeck.
Holleback. Joey Hollenbeck.
Did you ever play ball with Aaron Mayer?
No, I don't think so. I think he was like, his older brother was a little older than me, and he was younger than me. He might have been on the team, actually. He was the guy with like the extra big pants and like the jerseys. Like, you ever seen Little Rascals?
Yeah.
Little Giants.
Yes. Yes.
Where the pads are too big?
Yes.
That was Aaron Mayer on our team, I think, if I'm remembering it. I remember they're like when fitted hats and all that stuff were hot. His parents opened like a sports store in downtown Enumclaw, and it had like all the fitted hats and like all that stuff.
Are you serious? I never knew that.
Yeah. Do you remember the sports card shop that used to be
I
downtown?
loved that sports card shop.
Who was it? It was like, was his name Reggie or something?
Yeah,
like
it was an older dude. A little bit of an older dude, at least.
Yeah, and another dude, and they used to have the Papa Shot in there.
Yeah.
And, dude, I'll never forget, like, saving up my money and going in there and being like, I'll take a pack of Fleers, looking for that Griffey rookie card.
Dude.
And he's like, brought the whole box down, sets it on the table, reach down to the bottom, pull it out, crack that pack, go through it, like 6-card, Griffey rookie.
No way you got
lost
it.
my shit.
Wow. Really?
I was so pumped.
What was your most iconic sports memorabilia memory? Like for me, I'm going to say this. The Beckett with Bo Jackson, the black and white Bo Jackson Beckett, where he wore the shoulder pads shirtless and he had the bat behind his back. Like he was resting his arms on that.
We should replicate that with me.
Dude, we should. I'll be the bat.
Okay. Okay.
Zach will be the shoulder pads.
I had some really cool ones actually as a kid. Like my grandfather used to like basically manage and run the whole Tacoma Mall. So he would like bring like sports figures in. He's a huge sports fan.
Yeah.
So he had like Steve Largent. He had
Okay.
Steve Largent in. He had Marcus Allen, Fred Nablitnikoff.
This is making more sense. Okay, so if you've listened to the you probably got ushered right up to the front.
No, we had a special room that we went in with just them.
So this is when Casey Kane came to town, and I was wanting an autograph.
Heard this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it was so you were used to it. You were used to just having
automatic to walk.
I
right
just
to the
walk
front.
right up and just meet whoever is in there. Yeah, I blame your grandpa on this one
No, I had a short amount of time.
because your helicopter was waiting for you.
I was in the NFL. Casey was in the NASCAR.
Yeah,
I wanted to say hi to him. I didn't need an autograph. I didn't need anything like that. Just wanted to say hi to him.
right on. Cool story. That was awesome. So I met Steve Largent before.
Yeah.
He signed that Wheaties box over there.
Nice.
Yeah, I brought it up to him. I was a fundraiser for Kentview Christian or something like that, and I was a janitor at the time. And the superintendent said, "Hey, this is Travis. He's this and that." And like Steve Largent shook my hand. And he goes, "That's very good, man. That's good. You know, I bet you the kids love you around here," and which was true. Like I don't know what it was. Like the kids would like want to like help me vacuum rooms like after school. Like they could go. They're kind of waiting for the parents to pick them up. It's like an after school daycare too.
You're creepy like that.
Yeah, I was just like, "Hey kids, you guys want to vacuum with me?" But these kids would want to just like mark off the scuff marks on anything. Like that's what they just love cleaning. Anyway, he goes, "My kids love the janitor at our school." I go, and I felt like weird and intimidated. I'm like, "Okay, cool, great." Shook his hand and then kind of like turned and he grabbed my hand again and he said, "No," and like, "Serious, you got a great job. You probably have more influence on some of those kids than some of these teachers here. So you do what you can do to encourage them and just be just an example to them." And then he signed my Wheaties box, and I went back and sat down and said, "Wow, Steve Largent gave me the biggest pump up. I was ready just to start freaking cleaning everything with a big freaking smile on my face."
That is cool, Steve Largent. The Steve Largent thing's cool. But you know what's weird? Like the crazy thing to me is I'll go like, because being a former Seahawk player and this and that, they have these alumni events.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go there and like Benny Blades and like Dave Craig and like
everybody.
I'm drawing a blank. Who's the crazy running back that was big?
Kurt Warner?
Kurt Warner I've met before, but the other one,
John L. Williams?
no, it was,
Sean Alexander?
oh no, I played with Sean.
Okay,
but like I can't think of his name. You would know him. I don't know. But you see these people and you're just like almost still like kind of like
Ricky Williams or Ricky
Waters.
Yeah.
You're still like almost starstruck by it, but it's like then you go into these things and you're like sitting at a table with them and having lunch with them and like this and that, and you're just kind of like, I used to watch the shit out of you.
Right.
Dave Craig would be like, man, you threw so many interceptions.
Yeah, or you did this like super,
but at the same time, you killed it.
Move where he did kill it. But there's other times where he would go and he would, I don't know if his hands were too small or what.
That's what she said.
But do you remember when he used to like go rear back and like it would just kind of come out of his hand?
Out?
Yeah, he had so many phantom fumbles that way.
But he's like a full blown like
he's a legend.
Yeah,
he's a legend-ish.
No, he is. It's cool to see that type of stuff. But that's cool. But yeah, so that's how the sports thing, like with me, like that's probably like Marcus Allen was probably one of the coolest. Like when I was in Fred and Blitnikoff, I never knew even who he really was until like way later. And then when my house burnt down when I was a kid, I lost that Raiders jacket that had all their signatures on it. And I was like so pissed. And it's better than like my life or somebody else's life, but I like wanted that coat so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Starter Raiders jacket.
Signed by who?
Marcus Allen, Fred Nablitnikoff, who was the kicker then? Kicker too, and the kicker.
Really?
Jeff Jagger.
Wow. Well, with that depressing story, this is another episode of Hollerin with Hollenbeck.
How did we even go that route?
That was a long. I mean, we started talking about sports memorabilia. Aaron Mayer, we saw him today at Tom Poe's thing.
Always good to see him.
And the crazy thing is, I want to get Tom Poe on here now after talking to him for about 10 minutes because he had some pretty cool stories about why he chose Wazoo over UW. And then I talked to his wife. Patty talked for a while about how she was here first. She was raised here and this and that, and then that they didn't just go to Wazoo. They were high school sweethearts. They weren't just Wazoo, and then back to Enumclaw. They went Wazoo and around the country, and then eventually came back here. But anyway, a lot of cool stuff. I almost kind of want to do like, I wonder if we could make some money off this, not just with them, but with everybody, where someone's just like, hey, I want to talk about my life, and I'm like, I'll listen, $50, and then I'll record it. I'll give it back to you. I'll burn you a CD or give you the MP3 file, and that you can email it to all your friends or your family members that live far away. And I might be onto something.
Charging people to talk to you?
Yeah. Because I can record them, and then they can go send it out to their friends out in freaking Orlando they don't ever talk to.
That's not what podcasting is.
This isn't it's not podcasting. I'm not saying I'm podcasting. I'm just I've got the recording equipment. I just record. That's called like a psychologist or like a shrink. Yeah, but here I get it's like public. I can just edit it and send it out. I'm onto something. Hey, by the way, if anyone's listening to this and wants to prove Joey wrong right now, hit me up. If you want to pay me $50, you can come. You can talk into the mic. I will ask you questions about your childhood. It'll be a 45-minute episode, and then I will edit it, and then I will give you the file, and then you can send it to your kids that are across the seas or wherever, and they can hear your voice and they can hear your stories, and your legacy can live on.
Don't do that. Anyways, so I was talking to Tom today, and he was like, "You guys get or Jack Thompson I was talking to tonight, and he's like, you guys get listeners like where?" And I'm like, "Dude, we got listeners all over the world."
Yeah.
But like, I remember seeing the thing, but where are we getting listeners from?
Okay, so
a shout out to listeners from.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Okay, France or Italy, we get listeners there. It's weird. We got one now in South America. We've got one in Africa, in Nigeria. We've got Saudi Arabia. We've got India. What's Budapest? We got Budapest. We've got.
Hold on, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Wow.
Three in Saudi Arabia. So I don't know who's listening to that. And they're like, hey, telling their buddies about it. Like, hey, you should listen to these dudes.
Yeah, you're listening to us. I can't say it.
Yeah, I know. Please don't. But Denmark, we got Denmark, Germany. Even
Germany. They're coming because of the Hollenbeck.
Even Greenland. Greenland's got listeners.
I got that German blood in me, bro.
Yeah, we got Canadian and Mexico as well. So
Where at in Canada? I got some boys up Canada.
We had 2 in Ontario and 1 in whatever's next to Ontario. And we also have 1 in Vancouver. I think we have another one in Vancouver too.
Man.
I know. So we're
Worldwide.
Yeah, we're friggin' what's this?
Got hose.
Well, I was thinking Mr. Worldwide Pitbull.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Worldwide. Huh? Sing that for me.
I don't know any of the I don't know any of it. I just know he's Mr. Worldwide. But yeah. And then so you were talking to some people over there about the podcast. They're asking about that. There's like 2 other guys you were talking to. I was kind of eavesdropping a little bit when I was talking to Aaron Mayer.
I was talking with Michael Jackson, who
Shut up. Michael Jackson played for the Hawks?
legend that played for the Huskies.
Huskies and the Hawks.
That's who I was talking with, and then Jack Thompson, who was there as well.
Wazoo.
Coug Hall of Fame, NFL guy, whatever. And then Tom Poe, obviously, and then me.
Wow. Michael Jackson, that's crazy. I remember when we signed, when the Seahawks signed him, and it was like, oh, you got Michael Jackson on your team.
Funny story. You know what? We were talking tonight and cutting it up, and Tom was telling some stories. I just kind of sit back and listen to those guys because they're obviously way before me. But it's an honor to be there and for Tom to ask me to come there. But with that being said, like to listen to like some of their stories, like just about Tom and like stories that Jack has about Tom. But one thing that was really stuck out to me tonight is Michael Jackson is from Pasco. He's from like that area.
Really?
Yeah. So he's like a Coug diehard, like through and through. And he came in and he said, Jack, you were my host on my recruiting trip. And when I came in, the head coach told me, you're more than welcome to come here, but you're not good enough to play for at least 2 years. And his dad said to him, then go hunt. And UW wanted him. He went to UW and ended up being a freak.
Wow.
Yeah. So
he was that close to being a Coug.
He wanted to be a Coug. He said he was a Coug through and through. But then after that happened, similar to my situation.
Right.
With the UW thing.
Right.
And going to the Cougs. See?
My dad loves that story too, by the way.
It's true.
He just loves that story.
So it wasn't just me.
It's crazy.
It wasn't just me. See, that's where that blood is like.
And you told him, hey, if you want to hear some of my stories, full buddy cast, Hollerin with Hollenbeck.
No, they asked all about it. I gave them the whole thing.
Nice.
So we'll have you guys on sometime.
Nice.
They said we'd love to.
Nice.
He goes, next year at this time, before Apple Cup, you need to have Jack and I on. I said, done.
Okay.
And then I said, I want to get you and Tom on it. I listen to old stories. I'll host it.
Yeah.
Trav would sit in the background. He goes, let's do it anytime you want.
$50. Sounds good. We can record it.
Just a little jar by the door.
just fill her up. I'm here.
He goes, I go, we're going in the lab tonight after this. And Jack looks at me. He goes, the lab? And I go, yeah. He goes, I like that. I go, wait till you see it.
It'll be upgraded by then. All right. That's hilarious. So we got some feedback. My cousin, actually, Aaron, I don't know if you listen to any of the Aaron episodes, but Aaron Center, he's a chef. And so
I want to cook with that guy.
Yeah, so he actually enjoys listening to yours too. He said he goes that we're on his playlist now. Before it was like he listens to, let's see. He said you're right about Joey. He's super funny. Guys have good chemistry. And then he goes, it's jumped to third on my listening schedule. First is Dan Lebitard show. And then Mitch, Unfiltered, and then us. So we're our third. So
okay.
Shout out to Aaron. Aaron today also said that that he was there. Listen to this. This is crazy. Let's see here. Dude, I may have been at that fight Joey is talking about. We had a very infamous relationship with the wrestling team at Central. And so he was on the wrestling team from 2002 to 2007. At
Oregon?
What? No, was it what was the big fight? There was a huge fight.
Enumclaw? Was he in Enumclaw?
Well, I don't think
No, the big fight was when us against the Pikes.
I'm going to give some shout outs to people that have been listening. It's always nice to hear you guys. Eric Madrid, Kellen Hall, Tony Benetti has been listening.
Who?
This guy that I don't even know.
Oh,
should have said his name. Kyle Pierce, listen. Sprouse has been listening. Who else?
All the Poes.
The Poes have been listening. We get messages.
All the Poes. Shout out Poes.
Yeah, we got some nice messages. I was telling Patty that today. I said, hey, Sarah and Kristen and Jenny all sent us nice messages saying thank you for talking about my dad. It was very nice to hear and this and that.
I think that was towards me.
More towards me. I think they like me a little bit more. I think I'm a little cooler than you, but it's okay. If you know what, if you need that, I'm going to give it to you.
No,
that was you. No, it was you. I'm giving it to you.
That was you.
It's you.
No, it was you. You gave Tom all the love. It was you. You didn't even know who he was before I came in here.
I thought his name was John Poe. No.
Dude, you do not want his wrath coming through those doors, dude. There'll be a dent, and they'll go through that door, and there'll be a dent in my boat.
Oh my gosh!
You do not want that.
Yeah, I don't want that John Poe wrath.
Okay,
okay,
it's fishing.
All right, never mind, Tom Poe. Yeah. So anyway, it's just great to hear people talk about this and kind of approach us or send messages. Have you had anybody like kind of hit you up out of the blue?
I'm getting messages from everybody. I appreciate you guys listening. I really do. Like, I'm getting like crazy, just people like out of the blue. Like, I'll get hit up on Instagram and like, you guys are so funny.
Right.
Like, this was great. Like, I loved when you guys talked about this, yada, yada, yada. Like, you got like, whatever. Yeah. It's great. And it's not just us. People talk to me about the other pods too. Like, pre-menopods.
Yeah.
They're sending me love like about them because they don't know who they are. Right. But they know who I am. But I'm still giving them love on it.
Sure.
So ladies, you're welcome.
Yeah. Pre-menopods. We need to get them in the booth again. We also Rachel.
Yeah. Sounds like that was you guys are kind of slacking.
Yeah. They've been slacking lately. We're so busy. We're so busy. It's like, listen, you make time for what's important. Oh, your kid's going to go to basketball practice? Too bad. Have your husband take them every once in a while. Right, Kate? So
that was a shot, ladies. That was a shot. Not only to you, but to your husbands. And I had no part in that.
No part of that. Rachel Heater, she also gave a shout out, or she'll message me. Some of you people out there, I don't know if you guys always listen right away. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe you're a listener that binges. I notice there's some bingers that will just like wait for that block of time and they'll listen to the 4 episodes that were released in about 4 hours at work. Boom, 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 boom. Back to back to back. Yeah, at work or wherever. Yeah. So if you do that, that's a cool thing that you guys do too.
I have a question for you, completely off subject.
Sure.
Why is the heater pointed directly at my face?
Because I'm playing that game that we used to play back in the day. You used to roll the windows up, turn the heater all the way up, and then
you're trying to get me naked. It's not happening.
Start to shed some clothes. Is that getting hot on you?
Yeah.
Well, go kill it. I'll wait.
Can't. I'm so tucked in this damn corner. I'm not getting out.
All right, I'll get it. I feel like you're gonna be too uncomfortable for the rest of the time.
I'm uncomfortable because of you, not because of the heater. And with that being said, now that I got him off,
we're talking about being
of the microphone.
Talking about being uncomfortable.
Happy holidays to everybody. Thanks for listening. Like we already said.
But yes, happy holidays to everybody. Happy Hollenbeck holidays.
No, that's not how it goes.
Deck the Hollenbecks right in the face.
No, that's not how it goes either.
Just one.
I think it says holidays with Hollebeck.
Holidays with Hollebeck. How many times did you get spelled back in the day that you were Hollenbeck?
Oh, when I went to the Rams, it was on the back of my jersey. I'm like, hey, excuse me, sir. Like the equipment guys, and like, what? Like, and then I realized, like, you become buddies with equipment guys on an NFL team.
Why is that?
Because they will help you in any way possible. They will make your life miserable or make your life awesome.
Really?
Yeah. So you become buddies with them, and then, I mean, they're going to do their job. They're not going to screw you over, but at the same time, like, if you're buddies with them, they'll be like, hey, come in here. Like, what's up? Hey, you want this? Like, or whatever, you know? You're like,
really? Does it hook you up? Like, hey, I got some new cleats for you or something like that? Or what?
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, the equipment guy in Seattle and I were boys. And
Is he still there or no?
Yeah, he's still there.
Is it that dude, the bald dude
Eric Kennedy.
Yeah.
He's great. He's amazing. But him and Hutch were super close, and then Hutch and I became buddies, and then EK and I became even closer. And he's a first class guy, anyways. So he'd like hook you up, but you want to become buddies with equipment guy because like they're those are the guys that take care of you in the locker room, right? Whatever you need, as far as like cleats, jerseys, whatever.
So if you get on their
socks, whatever.
If you get on their bad side, they just kind of forget about you?
No, I mean they're still going to give you the bare bones, but they're not going to give you the special treatment, the hookup.
Now, what type of a hookup are we talking about? Like, are they like...
No, it's totally different now, dude. We went to training camp a couple of years ago, and, everything's closed off in the facilities. And we're walking by, and he's like, hey, Joe, come in. Come on in. And
really?
We had Kate was with me and another couple. He's like, come on, let's tour this thing. I'll give you guys a tour, and shows us everything. And I had seen it already, right. But then takes us into the locker room. In the locker room, basically, it's like floor to ceiling, and the ceiling's like 20-foot tall ceilings.
Yeah.
And they like push a button, and like the thing will open up like 4 feet, and you can walk in them. But so like all these are racks from floor to ceiling of like gear, whether it's the players' football gear, like helmets, or like just like swag. Or then you go into this other room where they like, which they never had this stuff when we were there. You'd put on a pair of cleats and be like, okay, I'm getting blisters.
Right.
Now they have like molds for your feet, and they take your cleat. Every player on the team has a mold for their foot, and they take your cleat that you want, and they put your mold of your foot in this thing, and they put it in this deal that like basically like pressurizes it and shrink wraps this shoe and holds pressure on it for like so long. So when you take it out of there,
it's molded.
You put it on your foot, and it's like butter.
Wow.
Like it like fully Nike came up with it or something. It's insane.
I mean, it's a good idea.
And they have like, at the time when I did a couple of years ago, they had like more than anybody in the NFL. They had like 3 or 4. Because like, dude, if you can't run because you got like your feet are like chewed up, like that's not, you can't play football like that.
Right.
It's like you're worrying about pain on your feet instead of like worrying about what you're doing. You know? Breaking in a pair of cleats sucks. And that's what we used to have to do. But
so you never got a new cleats every game or anything like that? It would be like,
no, you could get new. You could do,
but still, but would you want that?
No.
Though?
Why would you want to break in a new pair of cleats? If I broke in a pair of cleats, them bitches are riding with me till the end of the season.
Really?
Yeah, and then minicamp, I'll get a new pair or whatever I need to do, unless something blows out or something in them,
Right.
But like now, it's like they probably have 3 or 4 pairs of backups because with that foot thing that they have, that they mold your foot into the actual cleats and basically stretch that cleat. And like it's been played in,
right?
And then you put it on, like that's what you get. Like normally, like first, second, third game of the season, broken cleats to where the technology is insane. And that was a couple of years ago.
Did you get new socks? Was there anything that you got new every time? Like you got it was like when we're done with it, I'm never going to see those again.
No.
Would they wash the socks?
Yeah, that's what they do. They wash everything. They do everything.
So you never like free. You get another like. There's nothing better than putting on a new pair of socks, though. Like,
oh, you get new. You could get new. You like your game socks are like new socks because you don't wear them every game. You don't wear them every day.
Gotcha.
You don't wear game socks every day. So,
but is it your socks? Are they marked, or like are you getting like you could be getting someone's socks?
No, you have your uni. You have your stuff, but like practice stuff, it's like free barrels, like like that you either put them on a loop or you'd throw them in, and then what they did in Seattle is like even I have still gear now that said Hollenbeck number 60 on them. So like they do all the laundry, do everything, and then the equipment guys would come out and put them on hangers and hang them in your locker. So like when you came in the next day, everything was hung up and cleaned and done in your locker every day.
Wow,
pretty cool.
So Rams, you go there, you got an A instead of an E. What happened?
Oh, I was just like, excuse me, sir.
And they were cool with it? They're like, oh, sorry, bro.
Yeah, like, we'll fix you up.
And that was it?
They ended up fixing it, but you were a rookie. You didn't know any, like, you know what I mean? Like, you had no clout, zero clout. But then you have guys that like Orlando Pace and like all these dudes that I was playing with at the time. And you're like, like whatever. And I thought like compression shorts at the time were like Under Armour deals or whatever. Well, I was sponsored by Reebok. The Reebok reps in there. And I'm like, hey, you got any more of those? And I was just dumb. Like, I didn't realize Under Armour was a whole different, I guess, company and the reps in there. And he's like, hey, Joey, what's up, man? And I was sponsored by them and this and that. And he's, what do you need? And I'm like, I'll take some more of them Under Armour deals. And he's like, huh? And I'm like, like the freaking compression shorts or whatever, I need some of those. And he's like, oh yeah, those are called compression shorts, not Under Armour. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know. I thought they were called. I didn't realize because Under Armour wasn't a brand at the time when I was. It was obviously a brand,
but you knew,
but it wasn't. Yeah. I knew it as Under Armour, thinking that it was like something what it was called, like Under Armour.
Right.
Like I thought it was actual, like the name for it. And he like didn't like that real well.
Not at all. Now, I got a question for you about football. This last week, the refs stopped a game because the cheerleaders and mascot were still on the field. I think it was the Saints and the Niners possibly, but they like tweeted like back from the TV timeout, and they're like, "Could we get the cheerleaders to exit the end zone, please?" So my question is, when you guys play a game, it's turned into such a show. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a game lately, but it's like now a show. Every in between play, there's something going on the big screen, and they've got giveaways and in between TV timeouts. Like, it's not like you're watching a football game. Like if you go to a high school game or something, like that's what it is. It's a football game. You might get some cheerleaders out here and there.
Yeah, but you get the band, you get the stuff in between plays, you get all that.
But you don't get it as much as like in an NFL game.
Well, they also don't have freaking Megatrons that are like the size of the actual Enumclaw Stadium.
And that's what I'm saying. So as a player, do you ever just kind of like lose momentum? Because like you're psyched up to play the game, but then halfway through the game, you're like, it's not really a game. What are we really doing here? We're just like...
No, you learn because you get the refs that come out on the field that have the stripes on, and they got two orange things on each of their arms that go from their wrist to like their elbow, and they hold them up in the air. That's when you know, like, okay. And it happens in college too. Like, okay, TV timeout. Like, so we're timed out because of this. So then you're like, okay, you hang out for a little bit. I don't know if you necessarily lose momentum because normally they don't do it like in like while you're really rolling,
Right.
Like they'll keep it whatever, and then as soon as you call a timeout, okay, we're taking a 30-second commercial break or a minute commercial break or whatever that looks like. But that's the thing. There's also, you're limited to the TV time and what you have. And so like, I'm assuming something went wrong on the TV time of it. And they're like, okay, so like, we're going to have a minute timeout. And they're like, okay, take the field, do what you're going to do for 45 seconds or whatever. And they're like, nope, screw that. We're going 30 seconds. Like in between whatever it was, because however it worked out. And then they were still on the field and they're like, beat it, and so they probably had to like hustle off the field.
Yeah. I just didn't know if it just kind of gets like too much. Like if stuff's like they had that Dr. Pepper like throwing the thing into the.
Yeah, I saw that,
and it was like not even throwing. They're like basketball passes like into the thing.
Well, it was for a good cause.
It was a good cause, but still, I still don't know if it like it. Sometimes it just doesn't turn into like a football game like it used to be.
Well, they got to keep people entertained too. Like you're paying for an experience, right? So you're paying for an experience. So like I would rather watch any game from my couch.
Me too.
Than go to a game, unless I'm in a suite or unless I'm like
got a bunch of people with you,
able to get that treatment. Other than that, it's not worth it to me. Like it's cool to go and experience like whatever, but like if you're just there watching the game, like don't get me wrong, there's diehards that love it.
Sure,
go every week and do the whole nine.
Yeah.
And like they have their group and they do their thing. But like for me that isn't in that group and like I like to watch the ins and outs of the game. Like I can watch a game and be like, oh, flag. And people are like, well, what's that flag for? I'm like, 70 held.
Right.
And they're like, how do you know that 70 held? I'm like, because I've been taught to watch film differently than you've been taught watch a football game. You know what I mean? And they'll come back and be like, holding number 70. And Kate's like, how do you always know this? You need to be a commentator. I'm like, no, I don't need to be a commentator. I just have been able to watch the film in a different way than you know how to watch the game.
Right.
And so it's like, I would rather watch it that way and see the ins and outs of it than sit at the 200, well, even the 100 level, even the freaking third row. You can't see what you can see as you can on TV.
Because
even they do such a good job with
but even with TV, even with TV though, even though they have commercials, even though you got this graphic and that graphic, it still feels like a game.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like
well, they gotta fill in those blanks. Like think of when they go to the TV timeout. What are you supposed to do? They gotta give you a commercial, right? And that commercial is cheerleaders, or it's halftime show, or it's whatever that looks like.
Right.
Whereas we're watching at home, you get like all these guys breaking down all the games at halftime and doing this and that and like whatever. Even though you want to get back to that game, they still intrigue you somewhat.
They suck you in, right?
What's going on in the rest of the games?
True.
And what happened in the day if you don't have Red Zone or whatever you're watching.
Right.
That's all I watch is Red Zone.
Me too.
That's it.
Love Red Zone. I mean, I'll throw on like the other channel if I
don't. Even when the Seahawks are playing, let's say the Seahawks are at like 1.
Right.
And there's 5 other games going on.
Yeah.
I'll watch it now that fantasy's over for me. Suck.
Are you out?
Dude. I got so hosed.
Did you go against Austin Eckler?
No, I played the guy last week, lost to him. Okay?
Yeah.
Played him this week, dialed my team in.
Yeah.
Got my team completely dialed in. Trubisky puts up 40. Jameis Winston puts up 50. And he puts over 200 on me.
Oh my gosh.
This week. And I guess who I have? Aaron Rodgers and Kyler Murray that just go womp, womp, womp this week. And so I'm like, out. I'm out of that league. So I can take 5th in that league. And then my ESPN league, I lost in that one too. I'm done. Suck.
Well, here's mine. I'm still in. I played Mark Warren in our league, and I was getting trounced. I dropped A.J. Brown more on me because he scored like 32 points, but I dropped him to pick up James Washington because Juju Smith-Schuster wasn't going to play. So I thought, okay, that's a good trade. And he got like 5 points. And so I'm like, I'm going to lose this. And so no joke, 2:30, I'm like, Jamie, I know there's about another half left in the afternoon games. I'm going to sleep because I want to watch the Seahawks game. I'm going to go take a nap. Went upstairs, and as I'm laying my head on the pillow, falling asleep, I got a text from Mark and Mike saying, Eckler. And I'm like, oh, he's injured because I had him. And no, he scored some 33-point, like a 20-point play or something like that, ran for so many yards or whatever, and scored a touchdown. And I beat Mark by 4 points, and I'm going to the championship. And I'm stoked.
My man.
I'm excited.
My man.
I know. So
congrats. You'll shit the bed, but congrats.
Hey, second place is 300. First place is 500. I'm happy with even just winning 300.
I like that.
Yeah.
You'll still shit the bed though.
I don't care. I'll shit the bed. I've shit the bed.
You have?
No, I mean like in football, fantasy football.
Have you ever shit the bed in real life?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Four Locos.
No, I didn't shit the bed in the Four Locos.
Oh, you shit the bed somewhere else?
No, I shit. I mean, like, probably was like 23, 22, and it wasn't even drinking. Here's the thing. Dreams will just suck you in thinking that it's real life.
Let's say, so like sometimes, like every guy's had a wet dream like this and that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You had a shitty dream.
Oh, yeah. And it was a wet shitty dream. Like,
oh, no way.
Yeah. Where you get kind of sucked in. There's one, I remember when I was a kid, I was like probably like 13, and I peed the bed because I had a dream that I went swimming, and then I peed in the water. And I wake up and I pee in the bed.
Everybody's had that dream. Yeah, but I've never had a shitty dream.
I had a shitty dream, and I was joking about the wet shitty dream about being wet. No, it was like a pine cone. Like it was one of those hard ones that it was just like, and I didn't know. I had no clue. I kind of woke up and I'm like, hey man, that was a realistic dream of me taking that crap in my dream. And I was like,
what do you do at that point?
You don't tell anyone until like 15 years later on a podcast.
Wake up and pull that pine cone.
No, I kind of like, I mean, I didn't like reach into my pants, but on the outside of the pants, I'm like, dude, is there something there?
Do you feel bad after that? You're like, God, I'm such a loser. I shit my pants in my bed.
You know, I don't know.
Sleep.
I just thought to myself.
There wasn't a chick next to you or anything, was there?
I was married. Yeah, no, it was like, and it wasn't a log. It was, again, a pine cone. It was one of those grunts that
you didn't tell her?
I told her. I told her like later. I'm like, dude, I can't believe it. I think I crapped my pants like this morning. But But it's one of those ones where you grunt and grunt and grunt on the toilet, and you're like, ugh, and you think, man, this thing, and it took you forever to get it out, and you're like, this thing's a monster, and you look at its little goat turd that's kind of floating there, and you're like, that's it? What the heck?
You had to sing Amazing Grace when it came out because it hurt.
and you're just sweating, most cardio you've done in forever, and you just finally grunt that puppy out, and it's just like, oh, that was a pee. That was nothing. That was a little small pebble.
Yeah. All right, this is getting shitty.
Oh man, this was actually going to be our podcast before Christmas. I don't think we talked about Christmas once.
No, we're gonna have another one before Christmas.
Let me throw this out there, guys. So if you're a YouTube listener and you like listening to YouTube, we are now posting our Full Buddy Cast episodes on a YouTube channel called Full Buddy Cast, one word. And it's just the audio. So if it's a better connection for you, or if it's anything where I had Kainoa Gregor ask about it. He was like, "Hey, can you start doing these on YouTube?" I'm trying to figure out how to get past episodes on, but I am currently like the most recent ones. You will find that on YouTube. And again, it's Full Buddy Cast, just one word. You can search that on YouTube, and you can listen to it.
Listen,
pretty cool. When it comes to Christmas, what is the best gift you've ever given anybody, Joey?
Best Christmas gift I ever given?
That you were excited. It could be any age. It doesn't have to be recent. It could be anyone. It could be parents. Could be a kid. Could be your...
I got to tell you. I got one. Christmas Day. So, as my wife and I were dating.
Yeah.
Christmas Day, she was always like talking like, it'd be so cool to get engaged like on my birthday or like Christmas or this and that. And I was always just like, there's no chance that I'm taken away from your birthday or I'm taken away from Christmas or I'm doing anything like that. There's no way I'm doing that. And I like made it very clear. Like, I'm like, those are special days. Like, why would we want to share that day? Like, da da da. But she was like adamant about it. And I just kept going like, no way, no way, no way, no way. Not happening. So then I had the psych on her and I was like,
right.
If I were to drop the question on Christmas morning.
Ooh.
This is before we had kids.
Right. Of course.
We owned a house or whatever. We lived together, but we didn't have kids or we weren't married yet, obviously. Right. I was like, if I did this, she would never know. Mm-hmm. She would not have a clue. And I was
because you've refused it too much.
I psyched her out. And I was adamant about it and I was serious about it. But then I was like,
stop talking. Stop asking. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I was like, screw it. You know what? This might be a good idea. My favorite Christmas thus far, amongst like the first Christmas of each of our children, was awesome, obviously, and every Christmas with my kids. But that one where I said, stay upstairs. I got to grab something and then you can come down. And I went and got it. And when she turned the corner on the stairs, I was down on one knee and asked her to marry me.
Wow.
Yeah.
A proposal on Christmas morning.
Christmas morning.
That's pretty sweet.
Then she soaked me for like whatever else gifts I had to get her too.
Oof. It's rough.
Yeah.
Oh, well. At least you got...
That was probably the best Christmas present I've ever given. What was the best gift you've ever given?
I think I kind of answered this on one episode with somebody else, so I'm going to make it short real quick. It's when you first start making money. It might be a little bit different for you when you started making money, but when I was like... I'm talking about when I started making money. No, not I'm joking about that. Like when I was like 18, 19 working at Safeway. And like I didn't have to get my parents like some $5 like here you go, Merry Christmas, here's some socks. It was like
this CD I burned for you.
You'll have to burn it yourself.
It's off LimeWire.
But no, I got my mom like this like little. It's small. It was like $30 at Fred Meyer. But it was like this little small, like little fountain where the water would just kind of rush, like recycled through, and had like.
I can hear that right now. That's soothing.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's soothing.
My dad got that massage thing that you would like. You plugged in and it went over your chair or your car seat, and it would just whoop 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 whoop. Yeah. So that was it. It was like that was like $40, but I was like so excited because it was like gifts that. So those were.
They're thoughtful, super thoughtful like gifts, and you're
I
like, they're gonna really like them, and I can afford them finally.
Yes.
I've been wanting to get you something like this for a long time. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. I just maxed out credit cards when I was in college, and like because you know what? Like growing up, like my mom would do the same. I was like, I didn't grow up with shit. Right. And like my kid, like my siblings, I had like my sister and 3 brothers, and so it was like, that's a big freaking row to hoe. Like,
yeah,
5 kids, you know?
Yeah.
And like, dude, we would walk out on Christmas morning, and it was legit like Christmas presents would fill our entire living room.
Isn't that
like,
crazy?
Insane. Like, there'd be like bikes and like, you name it, and like presents, and like, it would be like,
how did this? And that's when you knew Santa was real.
Santa is real.
Right. That's when you knew Santa was real. You're like, this is why Santa's real. Because I know my parents can't afford this.
And then also talking to my mom afterwards, and she would just be like, it's important. And if I max out my credit cards and pay them off all year, then that's what I'll do. And it was insane. I was like, well, and like, not very smart business-wise,
right? No,
financially.
No, not at all. But yeah,
like she wanted us to have,
and it could have gone to worse stuff.
No, and she wanted us to have the best day ever on that day, and we did. It was awesome.
Did you ever have times where you thought you heard Santa, or you thought that? Or,
dude, I remember going outside like it was snowing or something, and like it always smelled like Old Spice or something. Like
he's an Old Spice guy.
I felt like it smelled like Old Spice. It probably didn't, but I felt like it did.
Maybe with the reindeer were like a little Old Spice.
Kind of what I thought. I thought, yeah, forever.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid hearing Santa's like the hooves on the roof. I heard I heard the hooves on the roof, and I went to sleep. I'm like, oh crap, he's gonna, because he knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake. I'm like, I'm falling asleep immediately.
Yeah, but you were in cell. It could have been a tweaker.
It probably was.
It could have been a tweaker too.
That or some raccoons just trying to paw their way in.
Could have been a tweaker. What's your dad's name again?
Rick.
Rick.
You know, Corinne and Amber they just love that. They just love saying Rick. Here's craziness right here. Okay. Speaking of Rick, this is going to be probably a couple days or a week or so old. He's been fighting a sickness, just like just like how everyone is. He had leukemia, and then he battled that for 2 years, and he took 2 rounds of chemo, and it went into remission for a little bit. Maybe battled it for 3 years. That first one didn't take. Then he did another round. Then he got a bone marrow transplant. So when a bone marrow transplant happens, it like wipes out your immune system. Everything that you used to like have built up with immunity, with all the sicknesses you had as a kid and teenage years, it's gone. It's a clean slate.
Do you have to rebuild it or what?
You have to rebuild it. And so he's like my 3-year-old, like they kind of like pass each other viruses back and forth. And so Jacqueline got hit hard with like a 3-week, like, I mean, it was like during Cougsgiving, and then she just probably about a week ago finally got better, got out of the woods, and it was coughing, it was fever, it was throwing up, the works.
Thanks for giving me a heads up on that before Cougsgiving. That explains a lot.
Did you guys get sick?
No.
Oh. so my
Trav just comes over, just happy as can be.
Hey guys.
Sorry I'm a little late.
Here, you guys don't need utensils, right? I can just dig my hands right into the stuffing myself, right? Without washing my hands.
Did you say stuffing?
Stuffing. Love a good stuffing.
Sorry, back to your dad.
That's okay. So my dad, yesterday, he's kind of been fighting it since before Thanksgiving. He's 65, I think, 66. And so my mom's like, listen, you have 103 temperature. You have 102 temperature. It's consistent. This isn't getting any better. We're going to urgent care. They go to urgent care. Urgent care doctor goes, yeah, you've got pneumonia and you've got something else. We need to take you. We're going to take you. It's protocol to get an ambulance and take you from the urgent care in Maple Valley to Enumclaw. That's going to cost so much money. And so as they're telling my dad this, like, they're like, it's protocol that you have to get well, I think what they were hearing was it's protocol that he has to take it, because there was a nurse who's like, you can just drive yourself. You don't have to take it, but it is protocol. And then the EMT that was loading him up into it says, you don't have to take this. I mean, it is protocol, but you don't have to take this. You can refuse this. And then the guy drives him to Enumclaw. He still went in it.
Rick! Protocol doesn't mean you have to.
Well, he didn't realize that until when he gets there. And then the driver's like, I didn't really have to drive you here. Like you could have, I know it's protocol, but you could have just drove yourself. And so like the whole time my dad's like, that just cost me a couple grand probably from going from Maple Valley to Enumclaw and like no sirens, no lights, it's just like an Uber, just taking you from one hospital to the other.
You run a couple tests on him. Here's your antibiotic.
Yeah. Well, no, but so that's what they found out. They're like, hey, you have no blood pressure. Your blood pressure is low, and so he was like 85 over 43 or something like that.
That's low.
It's really low, and so they're like they had to like they're like, here, we're gonna have to put a needle like into your collar bone area, like into your neck, to put some medicine in to drive up your blood pressure so we can start running tests on your blood. And because they want to see where the infection is with the pneumonia and this and that, because there was an indicator in one of the samples that they saw that there was an infection. So like that's the thing to do to get your blood pressure up. And someone's like, yeah, hey, I'm going to stick this thing in your neck. Your blood pressure is like, okay, I'm scared of that thing. Yeah. But it didn't happen for him, so they had to stick it into his neck, and finally they got enough. Well, yeah, so here's another thing, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging on here. But I'm so used to fantasy football updates, like being streamed to my phone, like within like, hey, James Conner suited up for the first time. And, it's like, oh, sweet, I get a C. And then I get like 2 hours later, I'll get another thing and I'll get another thing. Like when I'm like, my mom's like, hey, we're going to the hospital. He's got pneumonia. It's like, check my phone. Like, okay, well, praying for him. Hope everything's okay. Let us know what's going on. Like 3 hours later, it's like, I need I'm so used to up to the minute, like what's going on that I'm like, Mom, like tell me what's going on here. And so finally I did visit him last night at the hospital. But anyway, he had to stay the night last night. He's staying the night a couple more nights. They want to run more tests on him.
He's doing all right though. Prayers for Rick. Hey, prayers for Rick. There,
I know this is going to be later, but thank you. Hashtag prayers for Rick. And if you want to go hashtag prayers for Rick, throw a few eyes in there. We'll know who you're talking about.
Prayer for Rick.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just a weird thing to kind of.
They think he's going to be all right.
Well, that's the thing. It's like they kind of trickle that information out there. So I don't know if they're
pumping him with antibiotics.
Yeah,
he'll bounce back.
I'm starting to think they see him as a cash cow. Hey, did you hear? The dude like took the ambulance from like that's gonna. Hey, we should keep. He probably will stay here a couple more nights.
Yeah, tell him it's protocol.
Use the word protocol, and that's what my mom texted me today. She said, "Hey, so they're gonna keep him a few more nights," and my reply was, cash cow. Like that's like and my dad was laughing about it. He's like, yeah, he knows. They're just trying to take him for as much as they possibly can.
It's protocol.
Yeah. So anyway, prayers for Rick.
Praying for you, Rick.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Well, I'm going to talk to you before Christmas again, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas to our listeners. We got to do a little editing here, but we're going to get this down a little bit.
Favorite Christmas song.
Favorite Christmas song, the one that you the one. No, okay, you know what? Muppets, and it's what? Muppets and John Denver.
That's your favorite Christmas song.
Probably.
Give it to me, Kermit.
Not that. It's the one where it's not even. You don't even know if it's a Christmas song. On Christmas Day.
We just lost so many losers.
The dress and the bright holly. The shines, I don't know the words. To all to see the peace of Christmas Day. I like that one.
That's a good one.
What's yours?
Drummer Boy. Bum, 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 bum. Justin Bieber one.
Oh, I thought you were doing
Drummer Boy.
Eye of the Tiger there for a moment.
No, have you ever heard the Have you ever heard the Justin? Or what about this one? This little light of mine.
Is that a Christmas song?
Why not? You're letting your light shine, bro.
Okay. All right. I just think we're just now anything's a Christmas song. What's a little pum pum.
Yeah, but Bieber beats it up.
Tell me how he does it. I sing mine. You have to sing yours.
Bum 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 bum. He goes on. I can't sing it. I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
Guys, this is
Fire,
exactly
fire.
is what you just witnessed was the exact same thing I remember in Maple Valley Safeway where he went to this concert and I'm like, hey, what? I don't know what the concert is. Well, sing me a little
You're
bit.
not ready for that.
And he
many
starts
followers.
to get going and everyone stops to watch him sing. And he goes, I can't do it.
You're not ready for that many followers yet, bro. You are not ready for that many followers. Shout out to TB. Good to see you tonight.
Yeah, good seeing TB, good seeing TJ, Aaron Mayer, and who else we see?
Tom Poe, Jack Thompson, Michael Jackson.
That was cool.
Amongst the other Enum Clawians that came out to support Tom Poe.
Patty and Jenny.
Big love.
Big love. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody, for another Hollerin with Hollenbeck, and have a great Christmas.
Gracias. Feliz Navidad.